In this video, I'm going to show you the easiest way to improve at golf and why people have such a hard time improving at all, no matter how much they practice or how many lessons they take, how many different swing methods they try. And honestly, most of you are just wasting your time with all these swing thoughts and different things that you're trying and different methods. What you need to be concentrating on is improving your impact. And if you improve impact, you're going to improve your golf game, whether it's for a chip, a pitch, a bunker shot, an iron shot, a fairway wood, or a driver. It doesn't matter where you're struggling. This will improve your game simply because we're going to work on impact. I'm going to teach you how to set up in a position that makes it easier to attain great pro-like impact. You can see me here hitting a few shots, warming up, and I'm going to go through step by step what you need to do to quickly improve your game. And I'm going to go through step by step how you can simplify your golf game. I've been doing this for over 25 years, working with this simple concept that has you really setting up for impact. And if we set up for impact, it makes it easier to attain great impact. So if we set up closer to where we need to be, it's going to be a lot easier for you to learn how to make great impact. So we're going to go through it step by step here, and please do me a huge favor while you're here. Click the red subscribe button below the video and hit the bell to accept notifications as well. Also, a thumbs up really helps my channel a lot. It enables me also to continue to provide free content for you so that you can improve your game. A lot of my subscribers here on YouTube have improved their game a lot without ever spending a dime. If you want to take it to the next level, you can also send in videos for my review through my membership program. All that info, though, is below in the description below this video. So please enjoy the video. Comments are greatly appreciated. You see me here warming up a little bit and hitting some short shots, and all I'm trying to do is set up for impact. I'm going to go through step by step now what you need to do to make it easier to attain great impact, and also what great impact looks like. So with the setup for impact golf swing, it's a single plane golf swing, very similar to what Bryson DeChambeau does. He's actually a subscriber here on my YouTube channel for the last several years, and he uses some of the terminology, really just trying to get set up in a position that's closer to where we need to be at impact. So all I'm trying to do is to see that my wrists are in what's called ulnar deviation, where they're both this way as opposed to here, and that's where they're going to be really in an uncocked position, and that's where they're going to be at impact anyway. So I'm just taking and using gravity to let this happen here. So I'm using gravity to pull it down to there in both hands, and then I just set up to that. So if your conventional setup was here, all we're going to do is raise the hands up to here, and we're also going to put the body in a position that's closer to where we're going to be at impact. So the hips are moved over a little bit this way, which leaves our upper body back. The weight's about 50-50 in the feet though still, and then all I need to do to hit a good shot is simply turn back and turn through. So you can greatly simplify your golf game simply by setting up first on your impact plane, and then it's about learning to make impact with the grip leading the club head. If you saw a recent video that I did here on my channel, I'll see if I can link it here above if I remember, but it's a shockingly easy way to improve your impact. It also talks about, in this video, I'll try to link it above, but it shows you the best players in the world over the last 50 years, many of them, and it shows them at impact with their hands in front of their leading leg like this, and the club back at an angle. You see the body turned, the body tilted away. You see the hips turned like that. You can see that the hip is moved out over the leading leg. And so all we're going to do here is emulate that as we're getting set up. So we're on our impact plane. We're going to be tilted a little bit, and then all I need to do is try to turn back and turn through and just rotate around my spine, and then it's all about learning to release the club at the right time. So it's here and there. So here's the swing you just saw face on, looking at this from down the line, and I'll show you the shot tracer after this. I was aimed right out here at this palm tree, and so the first thing I would notice, my feet were slightly to the right there. And that's a tendency that I have sometimes. That's also why it's important to use video for feedback, and why I allow members to send in unlimited videos of their swing for my analysis. But you'd see here, I'll get rid of that line, but I've drawn a line from my spine angle where my belt line is, and for the swing plane, you can see how I'm set up. You can see how the club's in alignment here up through the elbow in my right arm, and that's really important. You're going to see why here. As I go back, you can see how it's right on the same plane I set up on, and really for setup for impact, if you're a little bit above, a little bit off there, it's not anything to really worry about. If you're too far behind or too far above, it will then possibly affect the path. But ideally, we're looking to be close to the plane line like here, and you can see here this is about perfect. And as it comes down, you're going to see, again, if you look at the right arm shaft orientation, it's exactly the same as it was at setup. And that's what I aim to do, is to get that to match so I'm set up for impact. And that way it's pretty easy to hit really good golf shots if I'm able to move my body efficiently and if I have the right distance from the ball. So you saw the mark here on my hips, and this is just to see that I keep my spine level instead of dropping down or moving up. So I want to keep the hips level throughout, and that's a function of being the right distance from the ball. So the ball's there, the foot line's here, and when that distance is correct, then I don't have to move down to the ball. When I used to try to copy Moe Norman, I set up with the ball way out here, and what would happen is I'd have to end up dropping down, so my head and my hips would drop down so much. The problem was to get the right amount was really difficult, and I saw in my students that they had great difficulty mastering that move, and most of them were hitting fat and thin shots all the time. So taking a look here, so the hips stay level. I have the line for the spine angle also. You can see how my spine basically stays at the same angle throughout the swing. And you can see even as I'm turning through here, you can see that it stays at that same angle. So it's a single plane swing set up for impact. So really I'm just setting up as close to my impact position as possible, except that you can see that my hips here are more turned towards the target, as is my upper body. And that's what I'm trying to do, and that's how we get the hands leading more through impact. So it's here and there. And so I'll practice actually starting out with people in my schools and in lessons that we're really starting. The first drill is really just learning to make good impact like this, and you'd be surprised how many people can't do that. It looks something like this, or they get here to the finish, it looks like that. So we have to first learn to move properly and make great impact. So we would hit a few shots once we're in our setup position, hit a few shots like that, trying to see the head staying back, but I'm hitting the ball rotated. And so we have to learn also that the difference between setup and impact. So I say I'm setting up and close to the impact position, but the goal once we're set up here is that at impact, we need the body turned, the hips and body turned towards the target to the limit of your flexibility. Now for each person it's going to be a little bit different, and I fit this concept to each individual. And so what we'll do getting set up to find our distance from the ball, we're also going to try to find a position where I can make these swings without having to move down to make contact with the ground. So I'm making some swings here, and I'm trying to feel where, as my hips stay level and my head stays level, where does my club make contact with the ground? That will be the proper distance from the ball. In the past, I tried to copy the swing of Moe Norman, who stood very far from the golf ball. In order to make good impact, I had to drop down. And so this drop down move also put a lot of stress on my knees, but it made it really difficult to be consistent because it was hard to drop the exact amount every time. So I work towards trying to be level and rotating around my spine so it looks like that. And then it's about trying to make sure that the club is lagging my body on the way through. So it's lagging, my body's getting turned and through. Because I'm set up on my impact plane already, it's a lot easier to learn how to do this. So I'll hit a bunch of shots like that. That's my first drill. And then in the second drill, I just take it a little bit further. You could also, for the first drill, say I'm going to hit a chip shot, and then we just change the body. So we set up with the hips open. We put the feet closer together. So we're preset here, and it's the same motion, controlled by body rotation, but it's the same motion. So then with the second drill, it's just learning to make the same motion and make sure that we're going through this way as opposed to that. So it's important to have a checkpoint here in the finish to see that the club's not pointed back towards my body. So it looks like that. It's just here, here. Find the distance from the ball where you don't have to drop down. Here, here, perfect. And it's pointed right there. So we're just simulating what we need for a great impact. And if you work through this step by step, first learn the setup and impact. Impact, actually, in my new training program, is the first step because it's the most important. So if you've been working on your golf swing, working on the backswing to take away 100 other things, trying to keep your head still, thinking about your weight, and things like that, trying to flip the hands, you're not working really on improving impact. And there's not a magic secret where if we get a certain position here, it's going to make this happen. The fact is most people are using the hands actively. So one of the advanced drills that I'll do also with people is get set up, take the lead hand off, and hold the trailing arm above the elbow, and then it's turned back, the same thing, but making sure here that the space between the grip and my arm remains the same or increases on the through swing. So I'll do that. Also, in my golf schools, we'll do that quite a bit as well as some practice also with the lead side, which is more than for coordination. It's also a drill to help get the body turned by impact. So when I'm practicing, if I go a little bit more swing, then I have some other drills to work on there, but it's trying to get, by the time I get to impact, I want to be there. You see the hips are turned. So I'll practice slow motion. I might do this at home. And it's also giving me a feeling for how far away to stand from the ball. I'm trying to see that my head is staying in a space also between the middle of my stance and the inside of my right foot. Once I have the feel, I may even set up to the ball and then do the same thing. And then I'll go ahead and hit it. So need to check the aim often. That's part of my setup program, going through step by step, checking to make sure that you're aimed properly. And then, so I'm trying to get a feel here. A lot of swings when I'm making practice swings, I'm just trying to see that the club makes contact with the ground in the right spot. So it's going through with a nice flat spot here. And then I'll go to the ball and try to repeat that same feeling. So you can see here from the setup position, I've marked my head and the right hip. And you can just see the hip turning in, head staying in position. And I like to look here also at the leading leg to see when you can see the leg shifting now towards the target as the club's still going back. And that's really important for the transition. And then you're going to see the leverage coming in, a good angle between the leading arm and the club shaft. And then we look at impact, the main thing that I'm working on and talking about in this video. You can see here the hands ahead at impact. About, I don't know if it's 9 degrees, but it's probably about 7 to 9 degrees, which is ideal. And you want to continue to look then also that the upper body is rotating through the shot, and that's what creates that flat spot through impact. Then you see the extension here through the shot. This is all part of the drills that you'll learn on my website, linked below. So the first step is to get used to this setup here. As a member on my site, you can also get video feedback from me, which is included, and then you also can send in email questions and view my entire training program as well. So I've set up. Once we get the setup, move the hips over, head's in position, turn back. Through. Try to fit the grip so that when we're going through here, that the club face is automatically square. There's not one grip fits all, just like we have different size shoes. Everybody's going to be a little bit different as far as grip strength is concerned. And again, this is very close to what Bryson DeChambeau does. He just holds it a little bit more diagonally in through the palm of his hand. And you see he's very late as far as the wrist cocking action in his swing. It really happens, changes direction, and it's not nearly as much as most players. Obviously, it doesn't compromise his distance at all, since he is leading in distance on the tour because of tremendous use of ground forces and his legs. Of course, he's also become very strong. So I'm getting set up, and then I try to keep the foot in position, the weight on the inside of the trailing foot, and turn the hips in. And again, when I'm hitting shots, it's all about impact, learning to get the club to go through like that. Nice long flat spot, as you've seen in my other videos. Again, if you haven't done it already, subscribe here. There's going to be a lot more videos. I have a ton of content here that's all free, and my goal is to help you improve. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And again, please like this video. Another perfect shot. Another perfect shot. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to help you improve your golf game so you have more fun on the course.